What's up, PGF Nation? We are back, and today we're breaking down our top 5 safeties for the 2026 NFL Draft. This safety class is loaded. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a couple names in the top 5 that might surprise you guys, and maybe even more surprising, a couple guys that didn't make the cut at all. We've got elite athletes. We've got tone setters, true chess pieces in this safety class. I'm Brad Fowler. He's Alex Higdon. Alex, after watching the tape, man, what did you make of this safety class?
I was looking around doing some research, and I noticed a lot of scouts don't have one of our players in their top 3, even though me and you probably have the same 3. We probably mix up between 2 and 3, not necessarily number 1. But it's been interesting looking at some of these players. But, I mean, nonetheless, we could start with Caleb Downs as my number 1 guy, 6 feet, 205, ran a 4.45. You know, his father was Gary Downs, played with the Giants and Falcons. Dre Bly, his uncle, you know, he was a little bit more big time. Made two Pro Bowls, I believe, and then he also played for Bama, and then he also played for LSU. We know that Bama, when you play for Bama, and I believe he had Nick Saban's last year. I think he had Nick Saban's last year. He had Nick Saban's last year.
Yeah, his freshman year.
Right, his freshman year. Yeah. So, you know, Saban uses those guys. He has a lot. Usually those guys are a leader on the team. You could go to Mark Barron. You can go to Ryan Clark. You can go to Minka Fitzpatrick. You just go down the line. Those guys are 9 times out of 10 a leader. He was a leader as a freshman. First game coming in, 107 tackles, 3.5 tackles for losses and 2 interceptions. Goes to Ohio State, 87 tackles, 7.5 tackles for losses, 2 interceptions. His last year at Ohio State, 68 tackles for loss, 1 sack and 2 interceptions again. So he's been a consistent leader from the time that he's into college.
Yeah, the number 1 guy is absolutely consensus across the board. It's Caleb Downs, like you said, a guy that most people have mocked in the top 10, which is pretty crazy for a safety. If he gets outside of the top 10, he's not going to fall very far, because this is definitely going to be the first safety off the board. Unbelievable player, man. You hit on it. Bama goes to Alabama, like you said, and gets the incredible coaching from a guy like Nick Saban, and then goes and plays in a pro-style defense at Ohio State. So you want to talk about a guy that's NFL ready. I mean, that's about as good of coaching as you're going to find anywhere. 3-year starter, like you said, from freshman year on, elite football IQ. I think that's really what separates this guy. His pre-snap recognition is just off the charts. This guy reads and diagnoses plays instantly, knows exactly what's happening before the play happens. Unbelievable instincts. Like you said, leadership, culture guy, a tone setter. Not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, but I think this guy's superpower is the processing speed is just unmatched. Like I said, a true chess piece guy. He can play deep, cover man, box. He can cover tight ends. He can play in the slot, play some nickel, scheme versatile. He's a smooth, fluid mover, excellent change of direction. It just feels like when you watch tape, Alex, he's always in position. It feels like he's always in the right spot. Elite read and react quickness. Look, he's not just a safety. This guy controls the entire defense. That's what this guy does. And like I said, he's going to be a culture setter. So one of these teams picking in the top 10, which let's face it, a lot of these teams aren't very good. They're going to need a guy like this. You're going to want a guy like this. You're going to want a guy to come in and kind of be the captain of that defense. He can be that guy right out of the box.
Yeah, he's not going to get, well, first, just talking about the draft, he's not going to get past the Bengals. So I think the Bengals are 7, if I'm not mistaken. So he'll go 1 through 7. And if he gets past 7 by any chance, he's not going to get past Dallas. So between 12, he'll be going by 12, the latest at that.
I think you're right.
My number two guy, this is probably where we're going to differ. My number 2 guy is Emmanuel McNeil-Warren from Toledo. Smaller school. We know that out of the gate, a school that Quinyon Mitchell came from. Did not face the level of talent as our number 1 guy, Caleb Downs, but a guy that at 6'4", ran a 6'4", 202 pounds, ran a 4.52. A guy who's fluid in his movements. We haven't seen anybody that has had this level of fluidity throughout the game. And once again, did not face a lot of teams. I think his biggest games were against at least last year. Yeah, I believe it was like Western Michigan and Western Kentucky. Lower teams. Again, he has faced lower teams. So there will be a switch or a transition when he moves up into the league. But I think this is a guy that can handle it. He's not afraid to get into your face. Now, having him cover is going to take him. It's probably going to take him a season or two to get his footing right, because he can get moved around if he has a guy like Devontae Adams that he has to cover from the slot or from wherever. So he's gonna get tripped up. Once he has that, you're gonna have a guy that's 6'4", 202 pounds that could play in the box, or that could play in the field, and will do anything that his coach asks for.
Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, man, I love this guy. He is such a player. He's so fun to watch. Like you said, 6'4", big-time size, prototypical size, rangy instincts. I say instincts a lot here because, look, I think instincts are important, but I think it's especially important when you're talking about safeties. I think safeties, you have to have great instincts, and all these top guys have it. He's a ball disruptor, a guy who takes the football away, game-changing plays. 5 picks, 9 forced fumbles. This guy has the peanut punch absolutely down, plays with an edge, plays with the toughness, a physicality, like you said, downhill enforcer versus the run, but he's a fluid mover in size. Just a really good player, man. A really good player. If this class wasn't so loaded at safety, most years this would be the no doubt number one safety off the board in almost any class. We just happen to have a really special safety class, but it doesn't take away from how good this guy is. I think he'll be a first-round pick. I don't think there's any doubt he falls out of the first round. I'm surprised that some of the other national media guys aren't as high on him as we are. I was definitely surprised to hear
this was the guy. Yeah, this was the guy I was talking about that a lot of people didn't have him number 2.
And I don't understand it. Look, I know he played at Toledo, but you just mentioned he dominated at that level. The tape is fantastic. The measurables match up. He showed out at the combine, maybe not elite numbers, but definitely NFL numbers. And the one big check mark, especially for guys who play at the lower level, is the Senior Bowl. He showed out at the Senior Bowl against guys at all the big schools, right? So I don't really know what we're missing here with him. I just think he's a great player. I think he's going to be a heck of a player at the next level. I mean, 6'4" tone setter. I mean, the guy that doesn't just tackle, he takes the ball away and makes game-changing plays. So I think he's going to be a big-time player, man. He is not my number 2. He's my number 3, and that's because I've got Dillon Thieneman, number 2, out of Oregon. 3-year starter, like we mentioned with Caleb Downs, elite, proven production, 306 tackles and 8 picks. 2 of those picks last season were game-sealing picks. So not only just taking the ball away, but you're talking about taking the ball away in big-time moments. This guy did it, showed up in huge plays, huge moments. He seems like he's always around the football. Quick shout out to our friends at props.cash, the best player prop research tool in the game. Props.cash lets you scan thousands of props across sports books to quickly spot the highest value opportunities. You get real-time injury and lineup intel, advanced filters to find exactly what you're looking for, and even correlated player props so you can see what tends to hit when a player goes over their line. They cover NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, college football, college basketball, and the WNBA. It's legit next level prep. If you're serious about betting smarter, go to props.cash and use code PGF25 for 25% off your first month. That's code PGF25 for 25% off your first month at props.cash. The official ticketing app of Pint Glass Football is now SeatGeek. I can't recommend them enough, guys. I've been using SeatGeek for years. You want to go to a game this season? SeatGeek is here to take the confusion out of buying tickets, making sure you get the best seats at the best prices. With SeatGeek, you'll never have to worry about overpaying for tickets again. How? They put a 0 to 10 score on each ticket, so you know you're getting a good deal. But here's the real game changer. You can get $20 off your first ticket purchase with the code PGFPOD. That's right, $20 off with code PGFPOD. This season, make every game day epic with SeatGeek. Download the SeatGeek app and remember to enter the code PGFPOD to grab your $20 discount. You watch the tape, he's always in on every play. It seems like high-impact playmaker, instinctive, elite closing speed, big-time rangy player. If you look at what he did his first couple years in the Big Ten compared to what he did at Oregon, this is a guy who went from basically a cover safety. He transferred to Oregon, and all of a sudden he's playing all over the place. They've got him in the nickel. They've got him in the box. He's playing in deep coverage and just making plays, whether it's behind the line of scrimmage or taking the ball away from the quarterback. The guy is just incredible. And then when you talk about a guy who shows out like he did at the combine, and when you look at the athleticism matched with the tape, matched with the production, there's not really a whole lot of holes you can find in this guy's game. Range, instincts, production, athleticism that's off the chart. He's hands down the best athlete in this class as far as safety. I don't think it's even close. This guy is next level, flies around the field. I can't wait to see where he ends up, because I think he's the kind of guy that has shown, playing in multiple different systems and multiple different roles, I think he can line up in any scheme at the NFL level.
Right. And I think, like everything that you said, you're absolutely correct on. But the thing that I think about Dillon Thieneman is the fact that you said he played everywhere. If you look at what he did in Purdue, and his first season, he had 6 interceptions. But if you look at him from Purdue to Oregon, Purdue, they had him playing basically in one position. Oregon, they had him playing kind of everywhere, where he could dump down, like you said, in the box. He could dump down and play the slot, or play DB and cover someone, which I can understand why people would have him, or not just you, but other people have him at number 2, is because he can cover out the gate. And when these guys that are going to 3 wide receiver openings for the most part, and you have to cover, or they have a flex tight end where they're not keeping an inline tight end. They have a flex tight end. So I can see him coming out and playing early because he can cover, but it's Emmanuel size is the reason I really have him after. But I have Dillon at 3, so I'll go to my 4th. I have AJ Haulcy at my 4th. Now, this is probably where we're really going to perhaps differ a lot, is because when you get to 4 and 5, it's going to get interesting. So I have AJ Haulcy, 6 feet, 222 pounds, 4.52. Now, we know LSU kind of fell off the map towards the end of the season, firing the coach. Forgot the quarterback had the injury. Yeah, program basically fell apart. But what I like from seeing from AJ Haulcy is that he consistently kept his well, from what I can say is he kept his maturity up. And even though this was his last year, this was the first time he got to LSU. He played at New Mexico State, New Mexico, and then he played at Houston. Then he played 2 years at Houston, and this was his final year at LSU. He came in and basically kind of just stood. When I say stood steady, he just rode an even line. 88 tackles, half a tackle for loss, and 3 interceptions. He just balanced what he does and went out there and did it every single game all the way through, even though the season kind of fell apart and everybody was all over the place.
Man, it's funny because pre-production, guys, we did not tell each other who we had.
No, we never do. We never do.
We never do. We never do, because we like to surprise each other. Look, number 4 on my list, AJ Haulcy, LSU. I love this guy, man. And I'm with you. This guy is getting slept on big time, because I'm not hearing anybody talk about this guy. And I love his tape, Alex. He's built like a linebacker. I mean, big, physical, tough dude, but plays safety and has the range of a safety, has the speed and the instincts of a safety. And like you said, elite production. You threw out the numbers at LSU, but if you look at his just collegiate numbers in general, 347 tackles, man, 10 interceptions, 19 pass breakups, 4 forced fumbles. I mean, this guy is a menace. Just takes the ball away. Like I said, instinctive. I keep using that word, but it's important when you're talking about safeties. Always around the football, always in the right place. Really, really good zone defender. I think he's a guy, some of these top guys we talked about, you can almost play in any scheme. They're kind of the true chess pieces of this class. I think AJ Haulcy is probably ideal fit is a cover safety in a cover 2 type of base defense. Not that he won't be able to move around a little bit. I think he definitely has the skill set to move around, but I think ideally that's where I'd want him, is in a zone coverage defender, because he's really good in zone, but he's good against the run. He's got that downhill trigger, shoots gaps, creates those negative plays, physical hitter. Like I said, he kind of looks like a linebacker. He's got that big, tough physical traits that you like, and the leadership traits. I've read a lot of good things about this guy, about being a locker room leader, so I love that about him too. This is a throwback safety, man. He's kind of part linebacker, kind of part ball hawk, all production.
Yep.
Well, let's wrap it up. So we got the same guy at 4. Let's go to number 5 here, Alex, and let's see if we're thinking of the same wavelengths here. I had a hard time, Alex, and we're going to get to some guys who just missed the cut. I had a really hard time coming up. Once you get past those three kind of consensus guys, I had a really hard time with 4 and 5 because there's so many guys that I wanted to squeeze into this list. But when I went through it and just kind of looked at, okay, who checks the most boxes? For me, it's Kyle Lewis out of Pitt. Fluid hips, movement skills, dominated the Senior Bowl. Once again, we talked about guys who showed up at the Senior Bowl and made a name for themselves. This guy really got my attention at the Senior Bowl because I thought he was the best player at the Senior Bowl, period. What do you have, 3 interceptions that week, Alex? I mean, guy was awesome. I thought he answered any questions people had about his ability to cover. I thought he answered those questions at the Senior Bowl with how good he was in coverage. Versatile, in the box. He can play deep. He can play near the line of scrimmage. Another guy with good instincts, quick read and react, that closing burst in coverage, but also as a blitzer, get pressure and heat up quarterbacks in a hurry. And he's a really, really reliable open field tackler, doesn't miss a lot of tackles in the open field, and a guy who matches up really well with tight ends. He can take the tight end away in the seam. He can take away the tight end underneath. I just really like this kid's game. And I know, Alex, he might not have made your top 5, but I know how much you love these guys from Pitt.
Well, I'll mention, I do love the guys from Pitt, but I'll mention that I do have Kyle Lewis as one of my guys to mention in terms of guys that didn't make the list, that just missed the list. So Kyle Lewis was one of them, but a guy that I have at number 5, and I actually was kind of debating between him. It was 3 people I have for number 5. It was the person I have, it was another guy, and it was Kyle Lewis. So the guy that I have is Zakee Wheatley. Now, Zakee Wheatley played 5 years at Penn State. He was stuck between Kevin Winston. I forgot the other gentleman's name. So he wasn't playing all the way up to par. You could not see his full potential all the way because he was playing in between 2 guys. He had to wait his turn. So he got his chance his senior year where he had 96 tackles, 2.5 for loss, a sack, and 3 interceptions. Then he came back. He came back because he was a redshirt freshman. So then he came back for his 5th and final season. He had another 74. And once again, the Penn State season went downhill after a little while, where the quarterback was out, the coach was out, so everything went to hell. But he had 74 tackles, another 2 tackles for loss, and one interception. He's shown, and then again, it was once again coming to this. It was the size at 6'3", 203 pounds, ran a straight 4.4. I like the bigger guys at safety, which is probably why I keep mentioning the size, because a lot of these guys are 6 feet. Some people are 5'11", but a lot of these guys are basically 6 feet. But him being 6'3", I liked what I saw from him. I liked not this year, but the previous year when he was all over the place in the playoffs doing what he had to do.
Look, man, just missed the cut. That's the first name on my guys. So we are all over the same list here. Some of these top 5 lists we've been doing, Alex, we've had some real differences, especially once you get past some of the top guys. Not with the safeties, man. We are definitely seeing it the same way tonight, because I'm with you. Zakee Wheatley out of Penn State was really close to making my top 5. Elite top end speed. When he gets up to full speed, man, he can chase down the fastest guys on the field. True range on the back end. Like you said, long frame, that 6'3" frame, it shows on tape. Long, rangy guy. I think he has a ton of coverage upside. I love the ball production, 9 career takeaways, 5 interceptions, strong in run support, triggers downhill. He's got good timing when he decides to attack the run, covers a lot of ground quickly, has that closing burst that shows up on tape, man. I like the range and the speed that he shows. And like you said, with the size, it's a great combination for a guy who's really looks like a top 5 safety in almost any other class. This class is just loaded, though, man.
Yeah. For one of the guys the one guy I was talking about when I was debating about the 5th, there were 3 guys. I said Kyle Lewis, I said pick Zakee Wheatley, but Keontae Scott in Miami, like, he delivers a hit and he's not afraid of the contact. And that's the thing you really get at linebacker and you really get at safety. They're not afraid to stick their head in where the ball is. And I like what Keontae Scott did. And it was a lot because I also saw that he ran a 4.29, probably more like a 4.35 to be honest with you. But he ran a 4.29 at the Miami
pro day,
at the pro day. He ran a 4.29. So this is another guy. We watched him in the championship game as well. This is another guy. He's not afraid to stick his head in. He's going to run you down no matter where. He's a sideline player. Can play up, can play back, whatever you need him to do.
Yeah, I think he ran a 4.29,
yeah,
39. Yeah, 39-yard dash. That's what they had down there in Miami. I don't think he's that fast, but I do agree with you, man. He's a good player. Another guy that just outside the list, but man, that's the thing. It's like you get to 7, 8, 9 safeties. I mean, there's so many guys. The guys out of Arizona are really good. I'll tell you a guy I think's flying under the radar that just missed the cut for me. How about Kamari Ramsey out of USC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, this guy's a player too, a playmaker behind the line of scrimmage, making plays. I mean, blows up plays behind the line of scrimmage, high-level processor, diagnoses quickly, gets downhill in a hurry, shows on tape he's really comfortable matching up with tight ends and coverage, can take away the players over the middle, just physical, tough, hard-nosed defender, attacks the football, high points the football, plays with an edge. I like this kid's toughness, his grit, and I think he's a guy that just not afraid to mix it up, put his face in the fan and get after it. So I like Kamari Ramsey a lot, a guy that just, on a list of guys that is so good, he kind of gets overlooked a little bit, but man, he's a good player. Well, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it, PGF Nation. Do us a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. Once again, I'm Brad Fowler. He's Alex Higdon. This is Pint Glass Football, and we'll catch you next time.